Well, joining us on the program now is Stephanie, and you're with Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital. Thanks for joining us today on the program. You've been on the show a couple of times now.
Just once other.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, you just located just around the corner on Carlotta, so it's pretty close to our community.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And we're happy to support the community.
Yeah.
And
Tell
be
us
here.
what kind of services do you provide there?
We're strictly emergency, so we're open when your regular vet is closed.
Okay.
And so when there's something really bad happening, to your pet in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
you can just come on in. You don't even have to call and give us a warning.
There's someone there all the
We're
time?
at night.
Wow.
So we're open, like I said, when your regular vet's closed. So
Right.
Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. is
Right.
our hours. And then Friday we open at 6 p.m. and we don't close until Monday morning, 8 a.m.
Wow.
We're here to do anything as far as like ear cleanings all the way up to the critical surgery cases.
When your animal eats something they're not supposed to,
Right,
and
or-
their stomach is not doing so
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah, or gets attacked by a coyote,
Right.
or bit by a rattlesnake. We're
Yeah.
there. We
Speaking
can
of
see it all.
rattlesnakes, you have a new associate veterinarian over there, and
We
we were
do.
going to talk to him a little bit, and hopefully we get a chance to meet him soon. But
Yeah.
we were going to talk about, the rattlesnakes that are out there when people are especially walking their
Yeah.
dogs, right?
So right now is prime rattlesnake season.
Yeah.
So when the weather changes from the cold, misty, rainy kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation and goes to hot, dry, humid heat, that's when the rattlesnakes really come out. And they're under leaves, they're under rocks. You won't necessarily know. So when your dog goes under that bush and comes out yelping, a lot of people assume, oh, it could be a bee sting. It may not.
Right.
It may be worse.
That's
So-
something much worse.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend always have them checked out if they ever do that, go into a bush or go, looking through leaves and all of a sudden they yelp and come back out to you. We recommend that you get into your regular vet just for a quick checkup, just to make sure, or even bring them into emergency if we're open.
Wow.
Just to make sure that nothing happened, they don't have a little puncture mark that might cause a problem. Because they do have a pretty serious reaction to the venom.
What kind of symptoms would they have? Would they become real lethargic, or?
Real lethargic, it's definitely a pain response, and then within the first hour you generally start seeing local swelling, and then the swelling gets worse and worse, and then it can progress into respiratory issues and things of that nature.
And I would imagine it would affect smaller dogs more so than larger dogs.
Nope,
No, it's
equal.
pretty much the same.
It's about
Oh,
the
wow.
same. So the level of care and the level of treatment is about the same for a large
Mm-hmm.
dog versus a small dog. It doesn't matter the amount of venom. It could be just a small, teeny amount. It's how the body responds to it.
Yeah. And what do you suggest for people that are walking their dogs? I see some people walking their dogs, and it seems like their leash is about 50 yards long. Shouldn't it be like within about 10
We
feet
usually recommend
or so?
10 feet
Yeah.
is like the max.
I mean, I know you want to see the animal kind of get away, but yet you still have control. But sometimes
Yeah, retractable leashes can be great for giving them the area to run.
Freedom.
But when it comes to walking, you always want to be very aware of your surroundings.
Right.
So there are coyotes out there. Your dog's 15, 20 feet away from you, and you can't pull them back fast enough if you see a coyote coming and attacking, or with a
you're just
rattlesnake.
encouraging danger sometimes too, especially if you're
Yeah.
walking trails, or even sometimes I see people walking through parking lots.
Yeah.
And it just takes a car, dogs 20 yards away in a car to come around the corner, because
Yeah.
they see you, but they won't see the dog that's on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's definitely something where I say just be a very aware parent when you're walking your babies. Even cats go out on leashes,
Yeah.
so those are something I would never recommend a retractable leash on a cat, because
No.
they jump and they go up and over and round things, and then you're trying to pull a cat through a bush. Doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
But standard leashes, this is about a 6.5 to 7 foot leash. These are very safe to be walking with your pet, because you can physically see what's around, what they're getting into, and it helps decrease the amount of emergency risk. Yeah.
What are the challenges with walking a cat compared to a dog, other than it's not very common?
It's not very common, but they're not followers, they're leaders. That's the way I like to
They're
say
very
it.
independent.
It's their world. We live in it.
Yeah.
And so very much so they go the way you don't want them to.
Right.
But it is trainable. Both Lisa's cats are trained on harnesses and go out for leash walks twice a day. But we recommend that they don't go out during dusk or dawn. Those are prime hunting times. It's also time for them to try and hunt as well. So it can definitely increase the risk as far as coyote attacks, rattlesnake attacks,
Right.
things of that nature.
And walking your animal is really important because a lot of people, you know, everyone has dogs inside the house now, right? When we grew, sometimes the older people, we grew up, dogs were outside in the backyard all the time, but now everybody's dog's in the house. But you would need to give them the exercise that they need to get out, and of course to explore too, because they get a kick out of getting out of the house and enjoying the outdoors as well.
Exactly.
So it is important for not only you to have that sociability with your animal, but that you're both walking as well.
Yes, yes. And it's great enrichment. So that's the thing that people forget. Domestic animals need the enrichment as well. You know, they used to be hunters. They don't do it so much anymore, but if you don't want to be attacked in your bed at 2 o'clock in the morning by a kitten, highly recommend you you play with them with lots of toys in the house, take them on those adventures, you know, basically exhaust them mentally, and then they're going to be perfect animals for you.
Yeah. We have a dog at home, and we've been walking him quite a bit lately now that the weather is a little bit better. And it changes their personality and it keeps them busy. So,
yeah, exactly. It calms them down. You don't see as much anxiety.
Right. So you're located just down the street on Carlotta, and your office hours are, you know, when veterinarian, other animal hospitals and things like that, or maybe your vet is no longer available, and you help people with emergencies mostly, right? What do you see mostly when people come in?
During this time, we're seeing a lot of coyote attacks. We see rattlesnake attacks right now during this usually April through June is big time rattlesnake, coyote, and heat stroke. A lot of people don't realize as it's getting hotter outside, it's getting hotter for them too.
Right.
So, you know, where you used to be able to keep them out outside, you know, while you're at work all day, well, if it's 90 to 100 degrees for us, that's increasing their body temperature by 5 to 7 degrees. Where are you going, mister?
Almost came off.
Silly
And you know, animals can't wear sunblock, so it's important too that, you know, we don't bring them out when it's super hot.
Exactly, exactly. And they, by panting, by drinking water, that's how they cool down. They don't generally submerge themselves in water or have an AC unit, but that's what our domestic animals are used to now. So we do have to just be cognizant of that. Like if you're at work for 8 to 12 hours, they shouldn't be outside by themselves without some sort of sunblock, you know, like patio covering, maybe a mister outside to help decrease the temperature wherever they're located.
Or especially in your car.
Especially in the car.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Even in winter, it's not safe to leave in the car. Even if it's running with the AC is not strong enough to keep their temperature down.
If it's a warm day, it's still really hot in that vehicle. So we encourage people not to, you know, if you're going to take your animal for a walk and you have to get to the store or something like that, you know, at least nowadays a lot of these stores will actually let you bring your animal with you. So, you know.
Yeah, and you can always check online. You know, or even just check as you're coming into the place. Like Home Depot is great. Most grocery stores will let you bring your pets in now. It's just, that shocks me. But, you know, there's Walmart, Target, they allow pets. So it's better to take them in for that quick 5 minute, just need one thing, than it is to leave them in the car.
My dog weighs about 150 to 160 pounds, so we don't take him to the store very often.
I have an 87-pound Labrador Retriever mix, and I also have a 53-pound boxer, and they both come into the stores with me. And that's just a training thing to get them used to people and experiences, but it's worth it when you're not thinking about the emergency they can walk into if they're in the car.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on the program. We got some great information today. We want to encourage our residents that when you're out there walking your pets, whether it's a cat like Gizmo or a dog, the other thing is to bring in like a can that makes noise if the coyotes are out, especially in our part of the neighborhoods. There's a lot of coyotes out there, and just, you know, you just want to startle them, and they will kind of take off. and it helps you at least get some clearance when they're looking around. So thanks so much for joining us on the program. You're just
Thank
around
you.
the corner from us on Carlotta.
I did want to mention that we do have a new associate doctor with
Yeah.
us. So if they come in, most of the residents from Laguna Woods have been used to seeing Dr. Burschauer.
Right.
Now they may see Dr. Soupants.
Great.
But he's an amazing doctor, been in the field a very long time, and he's very knowledgeable. So we have the comfort that he'll take care of everybody just like Dr. Burschauer will.
Yeah, thanks so much for being on the program, and thanks
you.
for supporting our program. Gizmo, thanks for coming in once again today. Perks out. Hey, we'll be back with more of our program. We'll be talking to the Shalom Club right after this.